All right. 3,
Hold on.
2, 1. Welcome back, everybody, to the Click to Close podcast. I am Travis Halverson, joined by the one and only
Preston Guyton.
Do I start saying introduce yourself?
Preston Guyton.
You should start doing the 3, 2, 1 countdown.
Preston Guyton.
Preston Guyton.
Man, you look different. Look at you.
I got my ears lowered.
Yes.
That's what my mom used to say. Well, actually, that's my grandma used to say. So, yeah, you got my ears lowered.
You got everything lowered. You lost it all.
I did, which is insane. I thought I'd lose weight by trimming that thing.
Yeah.
No, I actually went up.
Yeah, you went up.
I gained weight.
Your neck got fatter.
I did. And now my shirts don't even fit because I'm ripped. No, shout out to Chet Black Wellness.
Chet Black Wellness and your smoothie.
World's biggest smoothie, man. This thing is huge.
That's why you're gaining weight. That
It's
smoothie is like
sucking down berries.
8,000 calories. All that protein.
I'm only doing 1,700 calories a day, except for shout out to Matt Smith. He gave me the best thing in the world for pizza. Because I've been going through.
Did you try it?
I've been going through pizza withdrawals. I ate 2 of these things yesterday. It was the greatest thing of all time. Where is it? Here it is. Extreme Wellness High Fiber Tortillas. That's 50 calories. Then I got pizza sauce, 34 calories. Shredded cheese, reduced fat, mozzarella, low moisture, and turkey pepperoni. The thing is 224 calories, 23 grams of protein, 21 carbs, and 11 fats, and 13 fiber. I don't know what any of that stuff means, but it goes into my little app.
That's cool.
Best thing I've ever had. I was like, I want this every day. Every single day.
Did you have it for breakfast?
I wanted it, but she said, you're getting a smoothie instead. I said, damn it. It's all good, though. Well, anyway,
Ready?
It's been a little bit.
You ready?
I am ready.
So what are we talking about?
I don't know.
So
Just walk upstairs.
Just walk upstairs. I'm going to ask you a question.
Oh, man. That's not good. What's up?
It's not about your beer.
What is it?
Lack there of beer.
Shout out to my mom for making me trim this.
Yes. Scaring you. Get arrested.
Okay. Tell me. What is the question?
So what separates the really good CEOs from the ones that you feel like struggle? And I think it has to do with being what?
Coachable?
Coachable.
Okay, well, we're just going to not get in trouble on this podcast. So we're just going to keep it straight and simple and just answer it the best way possible without hurting anybody's feelings. So, yes, being coachable. I mean, in my opinion.
So what does that mean?
I think just being willing to forget what you know and being willing to learn and listen to learn something new.
Yep.
Like the whole teach an old dog new tricks. Like, you have to, especially with technology. Everything is changing. You can't be so stuck in your ways that you're not willing to learn and adapt.
So shout out to who that gave us this idea?
Greg?
Yes.
Greg Harrelson, the man. First thing he said to me when we sat down on that plane, Travis, I want you to understand that I am the most coachable person you'll ever meet. I said, well, I could hug you because that is amazing. That is amazing.
Not a tweaker.
Not a tweaker. Jen laughed at that. She goes, why'd you say that? I said, John said it on stage. I was like, I'm not just calling people that. No, yeah, he doesn't tweak.
Tweaker meaning they tweak what is actually working.
Yeah, why? You don't change something that's working. Like if you see other people and you're like, wow, they're using Follow Up Boss. I use Follow Up Boss. Why doesn't it work for me? It's like because you're in the weeds with everything and you don't just trust the fact that whoever set up your system for you knew what they were doing. That's why you asked them to set it up for you. Yeah, no, Greg does a great job at that. He literally got on that call with all of his agents and just said, hey, this is going to be painful, but I'm putting everybody through pain just because I respect you guys and know that if we do this, then it will be great in the future. You know what I mean? So. And then we had another client who said something great. He was like, hey, temporary pain for long-term gain. And that was huge for me. I was like, I agree. I said, yeah, this is going to be difficult at first, but understand that it's a process that we're setting up in your database. And
yeah, with him, he switched. So they're brand new to Follow Up Boss.
Mm-hmm.
Been using, I think, Rural Geeks for a long time.
Yep,
and
for
other
a really
things.
long time.
I don't know what else they were using.
They were using Sierra.
But I mean, that's
right?
the thing, like always being a student, right? Like willing to learn, willing to hire people, willing to listen to what other people have done that are successful instead of saying, hey, I'm going to do it on my own. What you say doesn't work. I'm not going to listen to it. And he's always a student. He and I shared some, our both our boys are in the same grade, so we rode up together on a field trip to DC, and he's just always asking questions and always listening. And I think that's a big part of it, being willing to listen and learn and try things and not try to make it your own.
Yep.
I'm going to do exactly what y'all say. I mean, that's what he said. I'm going to do exactly what y'all say, and I'm going to believe in what you're saying, and then we'll do it. Whoa.
We had a power outage, so if you're just tuning in right now and we're cut in the middle, we were just talking about Greg Harrelson being the man and the legend and being very coachable.
And then lightning went through my ears.
Yeah, I got shocked.
We're here out of my right ear.
But now we're good.
Starting to twitch.
now we're good. We're talking about how so I mean he just signed up.
You know what that means? Road, they need to sponsor us.
That's true.
If they don't, we could
the Roadcaster.
Yeah, Roadcaster
damages
energy through my ears.
Yeah. Sometimes. So he's now on Follow Up Boss, left Real Geeks, going all in.
Well, he's still with Real Geeks, so he's just pushing all the leads into one database, right? Like, because he also gets Zillow Flex.
Yep. That's all we're working
in different
for
markets, and wasn't using Follow Up Boss. And I was like, hey, you're going into 2 different systems to work the leads, and you could do all those things inside of Follow Up Boss, which is crazy to me that with Zillow buying Follow Up Boss, they didn't share that with the Flex teams. Be like, hey, by the way, if you're in Follow Up Boss, you change these stages and everything else, it pushes to Zillow like they want to see.
Yeah, we had a guy on his team who was very much just blown away by the fact. He's like, I don't know, man. I don't want to have to go into all these systems. I was like, what do you mean? Just go into FUB and just go this way. And he goes, well, I'll be damned. I'm going into it. He's like, that was the greatest thing I've seen.
That's awesome. I don't have to go into Zillow anymore.
He's like, I don't have to go into all these different systems. I'm like, yeah, man. That's the cool part about technology and evolving. You know what I mean? I remember when you'd have to update all these different lead sources that you had, but just having one CRM that allows you to like integrate with it, which is great. And the 2-way integration for a lot of those things just works out very well for a lot of team leaders and people that need that sort of thing to have to update systems. No, it's cool. But I mean, just with CEOs in general and Greg in general, like being able to be coachable is huge because he's been in the business way longer than I have. How long has he been in business?
1988, I would guess. 1990.
Yeah, so longer than me.
Longer than me. He graduated high school, I think, in 88. I remember him telling me that. I think it was 88. And his dad was in real estate. That's how he got in real estate. So I think he got into real estate right out of high school or college. So it's probably 1920. And I think he's always been coachable. He told me something on when we were in the car together. He goes, yeah, I used to tell people if the fire alarm goes off, I'm going to keep dialing. I'm not stopping dialing to call 911.
So someone has to pull me out of here. Like that's where we're going.
I mean, that's where it says that, right? Like he's prospecting based, and that's what he trains on. That's what he coaches on, and willing to listen. So that's the separate. I mean, you got to be willing to listen to learn to be, to be in the business that long, performing at a high level.
Yeah, for sure.
If you stay the same, you might last 5 years.
Oh yeah.
You always got to change. And I mean, when he was thinking about early 90, phone books.
I still remember Sammy Knight.
Yeah, phone. I'm going to rip all the pages.
I'm going to rip Nobody else gets these leads today.
Nobody else gets my CRM. Rip all the pages out of the phone book.
No, but it's just interesting, though, because you can tell the difference. His team very much just listened. Anytime that he spoke, like, they respected everything he said. And, like, I can just tell you that there are teams out there that do not get that kind of respect. It's sad because it's like, why don't you command that authority with your team? You know what I mean? Like, he comes in, speaks very calm, just has a great conversation with his agents and make sure his agents are set up for success and says, I'm doing this for you guys. I'm doing this to help you guys. This is something that you guys need to be using every single day. And they just very much were like, done. I'll do it. Whatever you say.
I mean, it's consistent. He's got many of the agents with his team on the buyer side that, close 60, 70, 80 deals a year. Insane. And they're just consistent. It's just being consistent and doing the things he says and shares and that's part of it. I mean, the ones that tweak and change all the time.
Yeah.
And then they don't allow something a chance to be successful are the ones that always struggle.
Yep. Yeah. And you're going to have a chance to listen to him at Maverick.
Yes.
Which will be great.
Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas. June 12th to the 15th. Right?
No.
What? Wasn't it?
It's the 13th and 14th.
Son of a gun.
And the 15th was added.
Oh, we'll
the
go to the 12th to the 15th.
Yeah, you go to the 12th to the 15th, correct. Yeah. So the last day is like a half day round table that was just added. So yes, the 13th, 14th, 15th.
That'll be awesome.
So
I mean, it's good. I'm excited to hear
We'll get
him.
there on the 12th and be leaving the afternoon of the 15th.
Yeah.
I'll be flying to Disney.
Nice.
Disney. Yeah.
Have fun.
In the heat.
Leaving
the heat to the heat. Dallas is hot.
But I mean, thinking back to just Greg though, and then thinking to other clients in general, just thinking to other CEOs that I see speak all the time, and it's just like the ones that are on the stage that have a lot of good things to say and have a lot of positives and wins in their lives and stuff. And it's like they all have one thing in common. I think it is the fact that they're all coachable.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all the ones that said like, hey, I came from nothing and I wanted to learn and I needed to learn. So I had the best in the world teach me. And I took everything they had and I was a sponge. You have to be a sponge in those rooms. Like you have to write things down and at least implement one or two things every time you go to an event like that. You talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, you got to always learn. You always got to be educating yourself on whatever's new, what's out there. Doesn't necessarily mean jump on it like, oh, let's jump on AI, let's jump on this, let's jump on that. But definitely learn and just pick the ones that make sense for you. And then like I said, you don't want to go to an event and leave and try to implement 20 different things. Just go there and pick one or two or three, whatever it is, and implement those. When you're growing a company, a smaller company, it's a lot easier. You could move around and switch, but like moving to a CRM with 100+ agents that Greg has is a big deal.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's a lot easier to do those things when you're smaller.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting because you see these big teams grow and grow and grow, and then when they get to this massive amount of agents, and you see some of these agents that are like making 1 or 2 dials a day, and I'm like, how I couldn't stand being around some of those people. I'm like, does it not pain you to just be like, hey man, can I have you dial 10 people today? And then they just don't.
Yeah,
I would be frustrated. Yeah, it's just that's me though, wanting it more for other people than other people want it for themselves. So I mean, setting standards in place and getting away from them. So a lot of CEOs will sometimes just tell you like, well, I don't know how to like get them to do it. I just don't know how to get them to do it. I'm like, just make it a minimum standard and enforce that standard. Like, don't give them the benefits of your team. Well, then they'll leave. It's like, okay,
they leave.
Then they leave. Like, don't waste your time with them. Like, that's their problem.
Yeah, I mean, in this business, you always got to be recruiting. You always got to be growing your team and setting those expectations. But standing behind the expectations. Like, if your expectation is X amount of contracts a quarter, then stand firm with that. If there's a real legitimate reason, then obviously look at those. But if you're really standing, and the things we do, like I'll talk about, is like if there's a minimum standard per quarter per contract. Like if they don't hit it the one quarter, then obviously give them another quarter to adjust. But make it a minimum where like they got to hit that minimum one just to make a living.
Yep. And
you can't have a minimum of 2 contracts a year. And some people are like, oh well, I'm getting money from them for this. I'm like, yeah, but is it really benefiting your team if they're paying a monthly due at $50 or $100 or whatever it is just to be around?
Yeah, you can't look at it like that. Like it's just one of those things that I tell people all the time when we meet with them, and we just say, you got to have the people that you want around to be successful and you want to push them to succeed. Or if you don't hold them accountable to the metrics that you want them to, they're just going to get away from you, and then it starts to become a toxic environment, I feel like.
Yeah, and the metrics, depending on how big of a team you want, I feel like the more strict the metrics are, the smaller your team's going to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you can't require 30 conversations a week, 200-300 calls a week, whatever that is, and expect to be able to grow a team of 200.
Well, that's what they always say, like that, what is it, the Navy SEAL team, where it's like...
Yeah, but you can build a team, but it's, so if your goal is to have 150 agents, you still have to have minimum standards, but your minimums are going to be a little bit easier to hit than say if your minimum standard is like 30, 40 conversations a week plus X amount of dials. You're just not going to find. There's only so many people that are willing to do that, right? Depending on your market size, but like, our market size, 3,000 agents. How many do you think are willing to do 30 or 40 conversations a week?
1%, if that.
It's probably 10%.
Really?
Yeah, I think so, because it falls in the line. Like, the 20% will do 80% of 80% of the
Oh,
business.
gotcha. You know me in numbers, man. I'm just going to throw things out there and hope it's
Throw it out there.
Listen,
Math
okay.
is not your strong
What is 1%
subject.
of 3,000?
1% of 3,000?
Is that 30 people?
Do the math.
300 people. 30 people.
1% of 100 is what?
1% of 100.
I'm going to walk you through this.
1% of 100 is 1.
1 times 10.
10.
All right. And so there's for every 1,000, there's 10. So 10 times 3. 30.
30.
Yeah.
Okay, I was right.
You were right.
On the third attempt. We were there.
That's good.
Guys, if you don't have any idea, without real estate, man, I would be toast.
Without a calculator, he'd be in trouble.
Without...
All
I know is 5% of the 3%.
All I hear is you're in the front of the office. You're like, you're doing that damn math again.
It's 5% of the 3%. That's all I got to know as an ISA.
5%, 3%.
5% of 3%. Sometimes 10% of the 3%. If it's a seller.
How much is that?
10% of the 3%. Well, it depends on, it depends on the sale of the home. And I can tell you, $365,000 home or $350,000 home.
Don't hurt yourself.
I'm not going to. We're not going to go on that rabbit hole.
Rabbit hole.
Sorry. Well, anyways, everybody, if you're a CEO and you're listening to this call, please just be coachable. Understand that there are people that might not be in the business as long as you, but understand there are people that have been doing things longer than you when it comes to certain aspects of the business.
Yes.
Like
how many calls have you made, do you think?
Oh my God. If I look at Nikki, for instance, Nikki was on the phone for 9 days last year speaking.
How many hours is that?
184. How many is that actually? I don't even know. What is that? 24 times 9? 216. Not even close. So, okay. All right. But yes, it's a long time. That was just 1 year for her.
That's crazy.
But I can tell you that I've probably called a lot of people, and it's one of those things, even in databases. I'm in a lot of databases, right? So it's like, if I tell you that there might be adjustments you might need to make, like maybe just be open to the idea that we might need to make the adjustment. I don't care if it causes pain at the start. It's to help you in the future. Unless you're in the business for less than a year and you're only going to be in real estate for a year, then yeah, that's fine. We don't have to worry about that. But if you're looking to go longer than that, probably listen. So.
Yes, listen.
Please. Well, anyway.
Next time.
Appreciate all of you. Find us where all the things are.
All the things.
All the things.
Next time.
Shout out to Jabra.
Shout out to Jabra.
Sponsor us.
And Road.
And Road.
Caster.
We need a new one. Bye.
Bye.